The Q Radio Pets Corner.
With Brandy Dog Food, because they're 100% family. You know you're giving them the best.
Q Radio. Q Radio.
Welcome to Pets Corner with me, Sharon Jennings. Coming up in today's show, we ask our animal behaviourist why dogs bark when they're left alone and what we can do about it. And our resident vet continues with his advice on how to avoid and treat our animals who suffer from allergies.
The Q Radio Pets Corner.
Q Radio.
And joining me is Dr. Sarah Millsop, animal behaviourist. You're very welcome, Sarah.
Oh, thank you for having me, Sharon. It's always a pleasure.
We have a listener whose dog continuously barks when he's left on his own. And they have done all the things that you're supposed to do, which is keep going out and coming in, extending the periods of time that it's left on its own. Don't make a big fuss when you come back into the house. All of that they've tried. So what would you suggest, Sarah, putting a stop to the barking when a dog's left on its own?
Well, certainly what I would recommend in a case like that, where it is a persistent problem that has continued over an extended period of time, would be to get some professional help. So the first thing you would want to do would be to rule out any kind of medical causes by taking the dog to the vet and getting a good, nice, clean bill of health, and then get a qualified behaviourist in to help you work through that problem. Because obviously, from what you've said, Sharon, these people have done their research. They're well aware of the different things they should be doing. So the desensitisation process, getting the dog able to cope with being on their own, but something seems to be going wrong, and a professional behaviourist will be able to pinpoint what's not necessarily going well and to improve that process. But really it's about making sure that dog feels calm, feels safe by themselves. And so something they could think about using would be a product called Adaptil, which is a plug-in diffuser. You can also get collars that are impregnated with Adaptil. And this is a pheromone that can help dogs to feel less anxious when they're left by themselves. It could also be helpful for them to leave clothing that smells strongly of them whenever they're not in the house, so the dog is reassured that they are still around in some form or another. And they could also think about leaving activities for the dog to take part in. So puzzle feeders, Kongs stuffed with food, so the dog has something to keep their mind occupied whenever they're by themselves. But certainly the route that I would be going down would be to get that professional behaviourist involved to help with that process.
Sarah, fantastic tips. Thank you very much. That's Dr. Sarah Millsop.
The Q Radio Pets Corner.
With Brandy Dog Food, because they're 100% family.
Remember, Brandy Dog Food has teamed up with Stenaline to give away 50 return crossings to the UK for your car, dog and for passengers. Pick up your special promotional packs of Brandy and enter at brandydogfood.com or on Facebook.
The Q Radio Pets Corner.
With Brandy Dog Food, because they're 100% family.
Now, last week we spoke with Mark McCracken, our vet from Grove Vets in Ballymena, about animals with food allergies, and he continues this week talking about certain environmental conditions that can also cause allergies. And Mark, when you say environmental causes, well, are there any obvious environmental causes that you could try and control?
Well, you can take blood samples from pets to try to investigate what exactly it is in the environment that they're allergic to. Now, when we do that, so often, almost always, they come back with some degree of allergy to things like grass pollen and tree pollen and house dust mite. Now, the problem with those things are that they're around us all the time and we're exposed to those pollens and allergens almost constantly. Although, of course, with the likes of grass and tree pollen, it's much worse during the spring and summer.
Yes.
And so it can be difficult to stop the wee dog coming in contact with those. And it's not even contact, Sharon, because how it works, these wee allergic dogs, they breathe in the allergens actually. The allergens are inhaled, and then that leads to the allergic response developing.
What would be the solution to that if the animal can't avoid the thing that's irritating them?
There's a vast array of treatment options for wee dogs that have skin allergy problems. Some are medications that involve dampening down the excessive immune response. sometimes supplementing the diet with essential fatty acid can help the allergy as well. There's a whole different sort of medications that you can use. Almost all of them are aimed at dampening down that allergic response, and sometimes it's a case of using a lot of different things in combination to try to manage and keep the symptoms under control. If they develop an allergy, unfortunately they tend to have that allergy for life. Any skin disease that you suspect is going on, it really is best to speak to your vet.
Mark, as always, thank you very much.
The Q Radio Pets Corner.
With Brandy Dog Food, because they're 100% family. You know you're giving them the best.
Q Radio. Q Radio.